we'll do this. And we'll be going here. Okay, good to see you guys all here. It's a little after 6 o'clock, and it is February 24th, 2021, and this is week 5. And so we're going to go ahead and jump in here. So good to see you guys, or virtually see you, as the case may be. And I hope all is well with you guys. And had a bit of a crazy week with weather, but we're all back to it now. And now it's getting warmer, so that's a good thing. It's great. So it got to be around 50 degrees, I think. Here, actually, here I took my dog for a walk and it said it was around 55. Anyone else get a chance to be outside today at all? No? Nothing? Okay. Just
Yeah, I was outside. I was outside for work.
okay, very good. Very good. And let's see here. One thing I was going to say is Robert, I see you're signed in right here. What's your last name there, Robert?
Herberger?
Did you say Carter?
No, Herberger. Herberger.
Okay, right. Okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Okay, good. Okay, very good. Well, listen. Looks like you guys are making good progress. I have not had a chance to get to the different to start to grade the papers yet, but I see that they are coming in, so that's a good thing. And as we're going through here, we as we said last week, we had last week. The first floor plan needed to be done, and also we wanted to have the hub drawing, okay, which was actually the drawing I. We actually went through those last week, and we did those, and those look like they're pretty good. So before we jump into here, are there any questions either having to do with what we studied so far, or anything about the course thus far that you're kind of wondering, okay, are we going to do this, are we going to do that, or any questions in particular right now?
Yeah, could you go over the dimension break, like when the dimensions are overlapping each other?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go over that. That's a good one.
Yeah, okay. When you've got that, there's actually a few ways to do this. Okay, now remember when I showed you the first week that if you hit F1 on your computer, F1, it brings up help. Okay, so if there's ever something that you want to find, you can always do this right here. So let me just give you a quick idea. So if I were to go ahead and type in here, dimension break, like that. Dimension break. Okay, about breaks and dimensions. Okay, so you can go here. And with dimension breaks and so forth, okay, you can add dimension breaks. Okay, how do we do that? All right, so there we are there. So I go there and see if I can't find it. Okay, commands for dimension breaks. And you got this command called dim break. Here's dim break right here. This is what it looks like. So if I click on find, it shows me where it is right here on the menu. Let me try that again, see if I can't get that to go here. I'll go to find. And okay, so okay, see right there, the orange arrow is pointing to it. Can you guys see the orange arrow hopping up and down there? Sure you can. Sure you can. You guys see that? I think you did. And I gotta go ahead and do something else here. Just to get something else. Okay. Yeah, there we go. And so we've got that going on. Let me do that one more time. So you go to find right here. That's dim break. So you can either type in dim break or you can actually do a search for it like that. So it's located in several different places, but that's where you see it right there, dim break. Now what this does, let me show you what it does. So if I wanted to actually make this work here. I don't know if I have any dimensions here that actually need it. I think I've actually broken all these right. There's one right there. See that? There's a couple that are overlapping. So what you do is you use dim break, and when you use dim break, you click on one dimension. You click the dimension you want to add the break to. So if I wanted to add it to this one, I'd go there. If I wanted to add it to this one, I'd go to here. So I go to here, and then go to there, and it creates a break right there. That's how dimension break works, because your dimensions should not overlap, because then if they do that, then someone who's looking at your drawing might not be sure if you're actually if that's actually a drawn item, like some kind, it's part of the geometry, or actually which dimension goes where. Did that help? Did that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so that's dimension break. Great tool, and it's very, very useful for doing precisely that kind of a thing. Okay, good. Any other questions before we move on to the new material?
If we turned in an assignment like an hour before class, is it considered late?
No. Anything before 6 o'clock is on time.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, it's actually how it's supposed to be. You just want to get it done before class. That's how that works right there. And again, as I mentioned before, I do accept papers that are late. If they are late, then they will lose 10%. So that means you're down to, if it's worth 100 points, it's worth 90. So you can still get an A. If you turn it in, if it's perfect, then you're still going to get an A. Actually, don't get behind in your work. But the thing is, if it's late, I still want to accept it, and I will accept things, quite late because I want to make sure you guys have it. I realize sometimes life happens and things, get in your way. But anyway, I definitely want you guys to get them done. I want you guys to learn the material. And so therefore that is how I operate. So that's what we do there. Okay. So moving on from there, we've, looks like we are in good shape here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on through here. So what I want to talk about tonight is we went over last week a floor plan. We went over basic floor plan and how to make that work. And we got another floor plan tonight, which you see right here. So the floor plan we have right here, we're going to work on one floor plan and on an elevation. Okay. The elevation is not a real difficult drawing, but there's a little bit that goes into it. So I'm going to be getting into this right now. So here's a floor plan. We studied last week. We talked about the different kinds of documents that are in a set of construction documents. So we talked about a floor plan. A floor plan is kind of like the central the central sheet. Okay, that's like the central plan that most people identify. So when you're thinking about doing a project, the floor plan is usually going to be the main thing people think about. Everything else describes it, but those are the main things we have right there. Let me go ahead and admit one more person. Hello, Chad. Good to have you here. Hope all is well with you. All right, good to have you here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump in and continue on through here. And as we get into here right now, just to kind of like go over this a little bit, we talked last week about how to go ahead and create this. And we also talked about something else here. Let me go back here real quickly and see if I can find these. If I've got these in place right here. Yeah, I think I do. Floor plan one. Yeah, I guess I don't have that right there, do I? Okay, but I do have this one, or actually I don't have that one either. I don't have either of them. Okay, so that's not too cool. All right, so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to do a quick look out here. I'm going to do an open, and I'm going to take a look at my floor plan one, which I think I've got out here. Floor plan one, maybe not. Floor plan one master. Yeah, there we go. Okay, here's your floor plan one master. This is one of the ones we worked on last week. Now, as we worked on this last week, we saw that there were certain blocks and we were able to insert the blocks. And we saw that the blocks are able to be inserted and then they can be rotated and placed in. We saw how all that worked, and we also saw that we could insert the windows and so forth and get those into position. And always, always, always checking the dimensions. I had one person actually ask me about a dimension that wasn't right, and I just said, well, make sure that your overall dimensions are correct, because that's the biggest thing. Whenever you're working on something like this, you always want to make sure that you're checking your dimensions, making sure that the dimensions are the way they should be, okay? Because that's very often where things go awry. If something isn't coming out right, just go back and get your overall dimensions and make sure you're building on a good foundation. Best advice I can give you is always check your dimensions as you go through here. So, okay, that being the case, we got this right now. This is one of the ones we worked on last week, and that's looking good there. And the next one that I wanted to show you guys, actually, if I can find drawing eye. I'm not sure if this is it right now. Drawing eye, is that there? Nope, that's the wrong one. Let me try another one here. Sometimes I've had to renumber these as time went by. Let me look at these here quickly. Yeah, that's it right there. Okay. So here's this one right here. This is the one, this is actually for us, it's drawing I, but for this class, it was drawing J. So you got this right here, and I've got that. I'm going to turn that off. And that's what you have right there. So what we had right here was making the donut. We talked about using the donut command, which is right there. And we talked about how the donut has an inside diameter and an outside diameter, and how we're able to use this right here was a leader. We used a leader to identify that notation right there for the polyline and give it a width. And how we used an array command using the polar option to go ahead and array that around. And we talked about how to get that done last week. So that's another one that we worked on. So I'm getting that question.
Yeah, for some reason I couldn't figure out how to change it. My my donut was really thick for some reason, but it had the right dimensions.
Your donut was really thick, but it had the right dimensions. not sure, without seeing it, I'm not really sure. It should appear like this right here, roughly like this right there, something like that. So without seeing it, I don't really know why it would have done that. But your donut, if your ID is 5.75 and your OD was 6, it should be okay. Not sure what to tell you without seeing it, though. I can't really answer that without seeing it.
Okay.
So sorry about that. Yeah, and then your polylines, on the other hand, they should have a width of 0.05. We talked about how to change the width of a polyline and how we would, we draw the first one right here. And then once we draw on that, we use the array command, array it around 48 times. And so we saw that right there. So yeah, if that's something that you want to kind of like direct my attention towards later, if you have that drawing with you, we could definitely discuss that. Okay. So that is how okay, any other questions before on either of these before I move along? There was one question that a person had, and that had to do with the text. Okay, the text, okay. So the text, I think somebody did floor plan 1 and their text was too small. And if that's the case, you can just use the scale command to make that larger as far as that goes. Who was that asked the question? Was that James?
Yeah.
Okay, and was this the drawing right here? It was floor plan 1, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right, and so what we did right there is I'll just kind of like try and replicate what you described here. If I were to go here, and if I make 0 my current layer, and if I go to put in my text, I'll go ahead and go here. I'll go ahead and put in some text right here. I'll go to there, and I'll go ahead and type in floor plan 1, okay? And you tell me if this is not exactly what you wound up with. Floor plan 1, like that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what you want to do is that you zoom into it and you just, okay, before I tell you guys, who can basically give me a suggestion about what they think, what command would work to actually make this larger? Sorry, had to put in some eyebrows. Looking at the screen all day, I've been teaching all day. Okay, anyone, this is again, anytime I ask a question, it's a softball over the plate. How would I make this text larger? What command would I use?
Size change.
Say it.
Size change.
Oh, well, okay. Well, okay. There's a few different ways to do this. Okay, let me show you what we do here. So who is that? Another question? Another suggestion?
Scale.
Scale. You just use scale. Now, let me show you something here. Since this is an architectural model and this text is too small, you'd have to scale it to an appropriate size. So in this particular case, a good scale would be 48. The reason why is because 1/4 inch equals a foot is a scale of 1 to 48. Okay, there's 48 units. So I gotta go to scale. Now I go to scale, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna click on this. When I click on that, it asks you for a base point. So I'm gonna pick a base point somewhere over here. And then I'm going to type in 48 as my scale factor. So I type in 48 and hit enter. Boom. When I do that, I've got that, which looks just about right. Okay. So that's how we go ahead and scale it. Then you can make it larger, smaller, but use the scale command. Need to make something bigger? Use the scale command. Need to move something? Use the move command. Need to copy something? Use the copy command. Need to rotate something? Use the rotate command. So those are all out there. So it's, now that you're learning these things, you're just going to need to just lean on what you've learned and just get a little more confident with it. So anyway, that was something that was asked, and I think I sent you a response to that, didn't I, James? James Camblin, you there? Okay. All right, we'll move on. Okay, so anyway, so that's what we did last week. Okay, so we did this and that, and we will move on from there. And we'll just move on from this right here. We'll get out of this too. We don't need floor plan master 1. We did that too. And so we're going to talk now about floor plan 1. This is the first one. So this is the next one. This one is going to be due for this week. This is floor plan 2 for the Southfield plan. So now let me kind of give you the setup here. Next what we're going to do right now is we're going to do a series of drawings, all identifying a certain a certain property, a certain structure. And so as we get into this right now, I think I might even have this in a book. I have all these books behind me, okay, but I think I've actually got it over here. Hang on one second. Let's see if I can find this and show you this particular project. 1 second here. Okay, yes, I think I have it right here. All right, yes, I do. Okay, books everywhere. Okay, okay. And yes, that's a virtual background. That's why it keeps on blinking out, so I'm just messing with you. So it looks like I'm highly scholastic. But anyway, that's what we have right here. Now, let me show you this right here. Because we get into this, what I want to do is I want to make sure you guys are clear about what we're drawing right here. I actually had this before, but I don't have it right out there right now. So I'm just going to show you real quickly in the book right here. Just kind of hold up to the screen and show you what we're going to draw right here. What we're going to draw right now is going to be this structure right here. Let me see if I can't show it to you. Okay, and let me see if I can bring it back a little bit. Let's see. Oh boy, that's going to blink out pretty badly. Let's see here. Okay, it doesn't like the white, does it? Let me try this. No, it doesn't like it at all. Okay, so that's not going to work, is it? No, white's not going to work. See that? Okay, there we go. Nope, not going to work. Okay, so that's that. Anyway, I was going to show you, but I guess I can't. So it's kind of blinking out on me. Let me see if I can't do it this way. Let me kind of get rid of my background here. See if I can't show you that way. So I'm going to do this. Get rid of my virtual background, and we'll use none. There we go. And let's go ahead and try this right now. Now check this out. Now right there, that is the structure that we're going to be drawing right here. You can see it's kind of like it's a house right there, and it's got like a wraparound porch type thing. It's got a chimney in the foreground, and actually over towards the right side, you'll see it's got a projection, okay, which actually has like a half-round window. And then you've also got the windows along the top and the bottom right there. So this is what we're going to draw. We're going to draw this in a series of drawings. The drawings are going to be the floor plan, the elevations, and so forth. So we're going to go ahead and draw that. That gives you an idea what it looks like. And I will get this back to you. So now you got a basic idea as far as what that's going to look like. So back to here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, now that we've got a basic idea as far as what we're going to draw right here, we're going to break this down into, first of all, the floor plan and the front elevation tonight. So let me show you what they're going to look like when we're all done. First of all, the floor plan is going to look like this right here. The floor plan is this. So this is that front projection that I spoke of. And over here, what you got right here, this is actually what it looks like from the front. You see the similarity. This is what we're going to draw right now. So it's an actual structure. What we're going to do is we're going to draw the top-down view, which is the floor plan, and then we're going to draw the front elevation, which looks like this right here. Now, I simplified this. I took some of the stuff out of it just because it was a bit much, and so I wanted to keep it simple, okay? But an elevation is an elevation, so we're just going to work with the elevation. So these are the two things we're going to do tonight. They're both related to this particular structure. So let's jump in and see how this works. We'll start with the floor plan. Now, the floor plan is actually the more complicated of these two. The floor plan has a lot going on here, but it's not too hard. You guys can do this, okay? So I'm going to show you guys how to make this work. So looking at this right now, please notice this. I've got a notation down here. Floor plan 2 it's a floor plan 2 south. The exterior walls are 5 inches wide, interior walls are 4 inches wide. So now we have a basic idea about this. I'm going to go out here, and I'm going to go out to my blackboard. And as I go out to Blackboard, I'm going to do this. I'm going to seek this out here. And come on, you. Yes, okay, going out to here. And here we are. Okay, so by the way, I've updated the what's due when. So what's due for next week is going to be this right here. Okay, actually, okay, it's gonna, okay, I've got this right here. And did I take this new one? Yes, I did. Okay. So for this week, we had drawing plan 1 and drawing I. Next week, drawing floor plan 2 in Southfield, and drawing front elevation Southfield. That's what you're going to be drawing for next week. So that's what's happening, and that's what we're going to work on here. So down here, we go down to this week, going down to floor plan 2 assignment. Okay. So here's floor plan 2. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this. First of all, what I've got right here is, as I always have, I have right here the actual PDF. This is what the PDF looks like. Okay, here's this information here. And then what you would do is you take this and take a look at it. That's what we have there. So now that we have this, and I've actually got it in place, you'd print this up. It would be probably best to print it up. I would recommend you do that. And once we have that right there, I'm going to take a look at it. So here I have the basic dimensions and everything in it right now. So I've got an overall dimension of 42 feet this way, and then 34, and then we go around, and draw that up right there. So that's what we have in place right there. So this is what we have. This is what we're going to draw. So that is what you're going to do. You're going to actually take this and print this out, and then you're going to begin to draw it. Now, along with that, I always do this, and that is I go ahead and give you, along with that over here, the template. So I've got a floor plan 2 Southfield 2020 template. So I go ahead and download that, and I just download the floor plan 2 template. So let's go ahead and get started on this. So as I go ahead and get into this right now, let me see here. I think I've got that printed up. I think I do. I think I do. Yeah. Okay, I can do it this way. All right, we're gonna go ahead and make that work. So I've got this going on. So what I'll do is I'm gonna go over here to my AutoCAD, and over here, this is the completed one right here. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this. So I'm gonna go here. So what you would do is you would go to start a new file. You'd go over here, you'd be on your start tab, and you go ahead and you go to new right there, and it prompts you for a template, or you could just double click on it if you know where you downloaded it to. So in this case, I think I do. So I'll just do it this way now. I'll go here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out to my downloads, and let's see here. So at the time running, I'll go to my downloads, which is right here. Okay, and floor plan 2, that's what I want right there. So I'll open that up. Now, once I've done this, I actually have a bunch of information in here that makes it quite easy. I did this for you. I actually put the fireplace in here and a few other things. So I've got a lot of things in here that'll be very, very useful to you right now. So now that I've done that here, let me just do a quick look here over what we have. And my overall dimensions here are 42 feet by 34, 42, 34. And then over here, I've got, this is a 14-foot dimension. And then over here, it's 6'3". Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and draw the perimeter right now. I'm gonna draw the perimeter right now, just using this right now. So I change my current layer to A walls, which stands for architectural walls. And I'll go ahead and just start to draw this with a polyline, because the polyline is gonna make life a little bit easier for me. So I'll go 42 feet, and then I'll go down 34 feet, 34 feet, and then over 14 feet. And then I think I said 6'3", 6'3". Okay, and then as I go along here, I can go ahead and pull along here, and I can pull it to this point right here, and I can touch it here. All right, touch it there, and I can track it right down to here, like that. And then I can just close it, right click and choose close. Now I've got that, and at that point, we'll see how it looks. So it looks like that right there. Now, I'd said that the outside walls are 5 inches. So I use my offset command. Offset's right here. I can also type the letter O and start the offset command. So I go there, offset, and I'll type in 5 like that. I'll go ahead and click it here, and I'll go like this. So there are my walls. Okay, let me make sure they're correct. Okay, so I have 42 feet, 34 feet, and this is a total of 14 feet right here, and then 6'3", and then around. So let me make sure that I've got it so that I don't build on a bad foundation. So I'll go here, change it to dimensions. And I'll go here, and I'll go ahead and start to put some dimensions on here. So I'll go ahead and, by the way, a little trick here is if I hit my enter key or right click at the first prompt, I can go there and get that. I can just click on the whole line right there. So I right click, then I can click on just the one line right there. And we are looking good right here. And this should be 14 feet. And it is. And then this should be 6'3" right here. Okay, come on, and I think we are good there. There we are, and that's so basically that's all perfectly illustrated. That's all perfectly dimensioned right there. And so now at this point we could continue on. Now that I have that, so you always want to check your progress. You always want to make sure that you are where you want to be with this whole thing. Always do that. So now that I've done that, let me go back here. I'm going to save it now. I'm going to save it as, and you know the deal. I'm going to go ahead and save it to my desktop, and I'm going to go ahead and call it floor plan to Southfield dash Brennan, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we have to save it. Boom, there we have it. Okay, so now that I've got that in place, I've got the basic foundation of it. Okay, now that was pretty easy. Now a lot of this other stuff is already out here. Like for instance, I have these doors that are 6-foot doors. Okay, and I actually have some blocks out here that I could actually use to make this work. So I have those. I've also got like these windows. Most of my windows are 3 feet. And you'll notice that this one, for instance, is a 3-foot window that's centered at 3 foot 2 inches off. So let's try that one. 3 feet at 3 foot 2 inches off the side. So to do this, you'll notice that I've provided you with some wonderful windows here. I've got these windows. So I'm going to go ahead and take this window. And one of the things I'm going to do here before I go any further is when I'm inserting these, I want to make sure rotation is checked off right here. Now, the reason I want to do this is because then I'm going to be prompted and it makes my life a lot easier. So I can just rotate it as I put it in. So I want it to be 3 foot 2 inches away from the corner here. So I'll go ahead and touch it here. I'm going to touch it there and pull it down. And I'll say 3 foot 2, boom. And then I can go ahead and rotate it like this. Boom, there we are. So I went ahead and rotated. Now let's see if it's right. Okay, you always want to check it. Oh, by the way, I should put that on the, make sure it's on the right layer. Even though I created it on the Windows layer, it's always good practice to make sure it's on the correct layer. So I'll put it on a Windows layer. Also, it could be called a glass. Okay, so then I'm gonna go from here and let's see how we did here. How did we do here? Did we get a 3 foot 2? Yeah, we did. Okay, so there's 3 foot 2 right there. So that's how you put those in there. So placing these in here, you could then kind of, another way you could do this is just simply draw a line. And since I made these blocks, so they actually are centered, I actually gave them their base point is actually in the center, in the middle of the window. You could just draw a line and then just drag it out to there if that's easier for you, and then erase them. It's up to you how you want to do that, but I just showed you one way to do that. So that's how we go ahead and put in one of the doors. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at how, that's one of the windows around, that's a window. Now over here, I've got these doors, which are 6 feet, okay? That means each one's gonna be 3 feet wide. It's 3 feet wide. And this starts, the center is at 7 feet. The double door is at 7 feet centered, okay? So we'll go here. So I'm gonna change my current layer to A doors. Okay, so I'm over here now. And I'm going to go over to my door. So I'm going to click on door right here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to touch it here and drag it over. And I said I would go over, let's see here. Let's go ahead and just go over, let's make it 10 feet. Because if I do that, it'll actually put it there. And then I can just kind of like rotate. Let's see here. I shouldn't have done it that far, should I? That'll work that way. We can do it. We can do it either way. So these doors, once I put a door in, here's something really cool about this. I can actually flip it. So it actually rotates around the way it goes like here. So I've got it from this side to this side. That's cool. Then I can hit this drop down right here. These are called dynamic blocks. I can make it open. Then I can tell it how wide I want it to be. So in this particular case, I can click here and make it 3 feet instead of 2 foot 6. So go ahead and do that. Now at that point, that looks pretty good right there. And then I could just go ahead and mirror it and put another one in there. But I know that right now I made a mistake. So I'm going to move it over 3 feet because I know I made a mistake. So I'll go ahead and do it here. Go here and go over 3 feet. So 3 feet, boom, like that. Now at that point, let me put in a quick measurement and make sure it is where it's supposed to be. So I can, and by the way, there's a few different ways I could do this. You could also use this measure tool right here. I go to measure and I can say, you know what, give me a distance right here. So I'll say, tell me what the distance is from here to here. And it's 7 feet, so I've got that. So 7 feet is right to that location right there. Let me do that one more time. All right, measure. This is a quick little way to do this. Distance from here to here. That's 7 feet exactly right there. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Okay, so what I could do here is I could take this and I could flip this like that. Very good. And then I could put in another door. I can mirror this one. So if I use my mirror command, I can grab this like this, and I could use this location right here and click it there. And then I could go ahead and create the mirror, which I'm going to do right now. Take this, pull it up, boom. Erase source objects, no. So I've got that in place right there. And I will go ahead and place in the dimension, which should be perfect now. So go to here, here, and I'll go to here, and I'll go ahead and put it there. And that's 7 feet. That's how we go ahead and put those in there. So that's how we go ahead and begin to place these doors. Those are both 3 foot doors, and so we're good to go. Then I'd also put another dimension on here where we go from here to here and pull that up, and that's 6 feet. You know, so wherever that dimension would go. But I'm just, you know, kind of like going over this and making sure it's accurate. So as we got that right there, we've got an idea as far as how to place these doors and windows and so forth. Let's go back to here, make sure it looks right. And you have it right there, so 6 feet, and they actually need to be rotating the other direction. And then I have to go ahead and change that a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to do is with these doors, I can take them and click on them. And since they're dynamic, I can actually click it right here and flip it that way. And this right here and flip it that way by clicking on those doors. Pretty cool stuff. And then at that point, I could take this dimension and pull it down over to here, like over here. And actually, maybe like this, like that. Okay, and then we could go ahead and pull these off a little bit, but I don't want to necessarily get, just to show you that yes, you can pull these dimensions from one location to another, which we would do. And we got that, and we got that, like that. Okay, there we have it. Now this right here, I'm going to click on this, and as I click on that right there, I can pull this up and up to that right there. So that gives me my 4-foot dimension, or if I go back to here, I go ahead and touch it over here to 7 feet, and then I go ahead and pull that back off a little bit because it goes too far in. So we go ahead and do that, and that's how we go ahead and do this. So your dimensions are extremely flexible. You can do a lot of editing with them like that. So now I've got the basics. So now you know how to put in windows, and now you know how to put in doors. I've given you that information. Now the next thing I've got right here, I'm going to show you guys how to put in this right here. Now this right here, you'll notice this is actually, what is that? 5'8", and then 2 feet out. 5'8", 2 feet, 4'8". Okay, so it comes down to, I'm counting this right here. So it's 5'8", 2 feet, 4'8". 5'8", 2 feet, 4'8". All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw that now. Okay, walls. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm just going to go ahead and make this a line. So I'm going to touch it here, and I didn't click. 5'8", and then 2 feet, and then 4'8", 4'8", like that. And I go ahead and pull this down in this direction, and I snap it right to there. And when I do that, boom, it gives me that right there. Now, what is the size of that? Well, that's also going to be 5-inch offset right there. So I'm going to go ahead and offset those as well. So back over to here, I could go ahead and just join these together, make life easy. Type in J, then offset it 5 inches, and I'll go here like that. And then what I could do is just simply trim this out right here, right there. And I don't want to get rid of all that. So what I do want to do, now that I've got rid of that, I could actually work on trimming this out in a couple of different ways, or I could just break it. I could use my break command too. The break command allows me to do this, or actually break something with a gap. So I can go ahead and break this right here. I go ahead and say, okay, from here over to there. And I'm going to go ahead and break it over to here as well. So to here, and touch it here, and pull it over to there. Come on, you. Like that. So once I've got that, I've got these in place, then I could pull this out and just to, kind of like clean it up a little bit. And all this is just basic, I'm doing grip editing right now, pulling these out and so forth. So there's a few things you could do here. Then I can start the trim command and just go ahead and remove these little pieces right there. When I get it done, boom. I actually have my this in place right here like that. So now what I did is right here, you have a chimney right here, and I actually prepared a chimney block for you. So let me show you how that works. The chimney block, actually, I'll leave this on this, and I've got it right here, fireplace right here. I'm gonna click on fireplace, and I can pull this in right to here, and if it's right, it should fit in perfectly, and boom, it does. I like that. I go ahead and pull it like that. So that is your fireplace block. I did that for you. I didn't have to do that, but I did it to make life easy. Okay, so now you have this. A lot of this stuff is already together. Okay, I just used my basic commands right here. We've got it together. There's other things out here that would require, more thought and so forth. But as it is right now, it's going to be placing walls and so forth, which are pretty straightforward. One thing I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go ahead and put one wall in here at 13'2" away from here, just to give me a basic right here. Because a 13-foot wall, I'm just going to offset this one 13 feet too. So I'm going to offset this wall 13 feet too. I'll just go to wall. I'll just do it this way. Go here and go over 13 feet too. 13 feet too, like this. Whoop. Try it again. Repeat line. 13 feet too. Boom. All right, like that. Okay, so I'm going to pull this down, and I'll just go ahead and kind of like pull that right down like that. So I have that. I'm going to offset that 5 inches. Okay, like this. And it gives me this wall right here. Okay, now at that point, I've got that in place right there. I just pulled the wall all the way down, just went ahead and went from one end to the other. Then at that point, what I would do is I could begin to put in some other dimensions right here. Like for instance, this wall is 12'11", and that gives me that. So again, I could do the 12'11". So back over to here, I'll just go ahead and draw another wall here. Just use my line command, and I'll go 12'11". 12 foot 11. Boom. Okay, so I got that, and I go ahead and touch it over like this. And then I'd offset that one. Oh, these are supposed to be 4 inches though. Ooh, okay, I got to fix that. Repeat offset, 4 inches. Yeah, the other one was wrong too. So I'm going to go ahead and do this because your inside dimensions should all be 4 inches. Okay, so let me get rid of this one. That's going to be wrong. So I'm going to offset this one. That's going to be 4 inches. So I'm going to go from here to here, and we go like that. Yes, because your inside dimensions need to be like that. They need to be different. So go ahead and get rid of this, like that, boom, like that. Okay, so I got that basically right there. Now, to just kind of go back what we have over here, going back to this right now, this distance right here, I've got a few things I could work with right now. But right now I've got this point right here. I've got this, this block here. We'll get to that in a second. But 3'7" off of this right here, I have a 6 foot gap. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw that 3'7" and a 6 foot gap. So I'm going to go line. And I'm going to start from here, 3'7". I'm going to put in a 6 foot gap. Let me go here. So go over 3'7", and I'm going to go ahead and pull this down like this. Then over 6 feet, and then up. And once I've got that, then what I can do is I can simply trim like this. Okay, and then I've got that. Now at that point, I would then have to figure this out right here. Now this is 3 feet. But I'm going to have to figure that out by going from this location over here. And I don't think I have that just yet. So that's not there. So I'll let you guys figure that out. The dimensions are all there, but I'm just going to let you guys figure that out yourself. So moving along here, the next thing I'm going to do is this situation right here. I actually made a block for that too. So over here, I called it kitchen. I'm going to click here, and you'll notice I got this lower right corner. So I can just go ahead and take it and slide it into the corner there, and boom. There's your kitchen, okay? So I put in some blocks in here to make life a whole lot easier for you. So that's your kitchen information right there. And so then at that point, it's just going to be kind of a, it's going to be a bit of a lather, rinse, and repeat. You're just going to be doing the same kinds of a thing, going ahead and placing these things as I showed you. These things all go in place like that. Let me give you a couple of details about this right here. Now, there's quite a few dimensions in here, but it's not too much. You guys can get all this, okay? One thing I will show you is this window right here is 6 feet right now. I only gave you a 3 foot window, okay? So you could use your scale command to actually make this one. I'll show you how to do that. So this one right here is 6 feet, and this would apply to anything else. So it's centered at 6 feet off of this wall. So let me show you how I put that in there. So it's a 6 foot window centered at 6 feet off the corner. So I'm going to go to my, my window layer, A windows. Actually, one thing I was going to say too is in real architecture, real architectural drawings, very often it's called A-glaze for glazing. Okay, so in any case, A windows is what I have right here, but it's not a problem. So go to here, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to put in a scale here. So I'm going to actually put in a scale, but I'll put it in, I'll go ahead and have it prompt me for a scale too. So go to here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this and drag it in. Now I've got this. So I'm going to click on, this is my insertion point. Now at this point, it's prompting me for a scale. Now the scale is going to be my X and Y. So X is always horizontal, Y is vertical. So in this particular case, I'm going to be doing my horizontal, and it's going to be 2 times its normal size, because a 3 foot window, if I basically use a factor of 2, is going to make it a 6 foot window. So my first scale factor, it's asking right now for X, I'm typing 2. And then for Y, I want to go ahead and make that 1 for, let's try that again. All right, let me try that one more time. All right, so I'll go ahead and go to here. Okay, so go to here, special insertion point. Okay, scale factor. Oh, it's going to ask me, okay, it's not asking for X and Y. All right, so I'll just do it this way. I'll take it off the scale right here. Yeah, I don't really want uniform scale. So let me just put it, let me do it this way. I'll put it in like this. I'll click there and I'll rotate it. Now, once I've got that in place right now, I'm going to scale it by clicking here. This will be a little bit easier. I'm going to right click and go to my properties. Now my properties, I'm going to scale it on the X. I'm going to make it 2. Okay, when I make it 2, that makes it a 6 foot window. Okay, so I was able to do that. So let me show you what I mean by that. So now that I've got that, let me measure it so that you guys can see and realize that I'm not lying to you. I'm going to here and going down to here, and it should be 6 feet. Shazam, it is. Okay, so we got that. So now what I got to do is with that in place, what I need to do is I need to place it 6 feet from the edge. So I'm going to move it from over here, and I'm going to move it from its midpoint here, from here up 6 feet. 6 feet, boom, and there it is. And if I got this right, I should be able to go ahead and measure this out right here. So I'll go to here. And of course, you could just draw these in two, but it's a little more elegant to use blocks. And so going from here to here, that's how we go ahead, and that is how we would use this command to make that work. We'll go ahead and pull that over, and that is 6 feet right there. That's what we have right there. So that's 6 feet, and then the actual window is 6 feet as well. So I go ahead and go here, pull this out, and I can actually measure that as well. So I go from here, going from this side. I'm getting some pretty bad screen delay. You know, we had a over here in my neck of the woods, I was teaching a class all day long today, and I actually lost my internet for a while because we had a big wind event come through. Anyone get wind today at all? Anyone get bad wind at their location?
Yep.
No, I got a big rainstorm though.
Did you? Okay. Yeah, we got like pretty bad wind here, and it took out, I think it definitely took out my internet. I don't know how many people it affected, but it definitely affected me. Okay, so what I've got going on right here are the basics right now. Now, as you get along to this, now once you've built this foundation, like I said, it's lather, rinse, and repeat. So these other items are over here. You've got this 3-foot thing. I'm not gonna, you guys can figure that out. This wall over here is 20'7" and so forth. So you guys know how to do those basics right now. Don't forget, the inside walls are 4 inches apart. The outside are 5 inches. Okay, that's how that works. Down here, exterior 5 inches, interior 4. So you want to go ahead and do that. So other than that, placing the doors and the windows and these stairs right here, the dimensions are here right now. I've got them in place. And these steps right here have a typical 9-inch tread. That's actually smaller than normal, but I just went ahead and left it. You've got a 9-inch tread right there. Typically, stairs are designed with what's called the 7-11 rule. Has anyone heard of the 7-11 rule? No? Okay. I can't figure out how to make the insert window show up. Oh, okay. To get the insert window to show up, click the letter I and hit your enter key. Let me know. Did that work, James?
Let me try it.
Type the letter I and hit enter.
Yes.
Top drawer. Okay, so we are doing well. Okay, so, well, let me just tell you this right now. Remember this. The secret of stairs is 7-11. Okay, typically what that means is the actual rise, the portion of the stair that actually goes up. There's the tread and there's the riser. The riser is typically 7 inches in residential construction. And the tread, where your foot actually sits, is typically 11. So it's 7-11. Okay, typically. Now, it can fudge a little bit one way or the other, but that's typically 7-11 is the most common dimensions right there. So just so you're aware of that, then you'll know that I kind of told you something as life goes on. Now, over here, I've got a couple other things, okay? Now, I gave you a couple things over here that are not in there. Like, for instance, I gave you a shower block, okay, and you got that. And I gave you over here a toilet block. Now, when you click on the toilet block, you'll notice that it doesn't go in right. But guess what? It's a dynamic block. Okay, let me show you how this works. If you click on the block, what happens is the block then gives you several different choices for its appearance. And what you want to use is you want to use a plan view. So you go to elongated plan, it looks like this right here, and then you can click in the circle and you can rotate it. See that? So this is how the toilet block works. Okay, that's how we go ahead and do that. There's also right here a sink. Okay, so we got these different items here. So those are all things you can use and place them in there. And there's a faucet. Hey, look at that. Okay, so you got all these different elements right here. And that's how we go ahead and place those into the drawing like that. So you got those right there. So this is how you would actually begin to place these items. Okay, those are all there. I gave you that content, and that should be pretty straightforward. I'm not sure if I showed this before, but there is a break line right here because you're going to need this when you do your stairs. To use the break line, you click here and you pick point 1 and then point 2. Let's see here. Okay, it looks like that one's acting up. Okay, you could also do it this way, I guess. You could click on it And that's interesting. Okay, that's an interesting brake line. Yeah, okay, that brake line is kind of broken. Okay, so we're not gonna read that. Let me show you another brake line right here. It's up here in Express Tools. Okay, you guys should have this. Under Express Tools, you've got a brake line symbol right up here. Okay, I'm gonna go to here. So I click on the brake line symbol, I pick on point 1, pick on point 2. Then I tell it where I want, then I tell it where I want to, come on. What's it doing here? All right. And then I tell it where I want to brake. And then when I do that, the brake looks like that right there. So you pick one point, another point, and then you tell it where you want the brake to be. Then you can scale it if it's too large. You can go ahead and grab it, do this, and like, let's see, I want to make it 0.5. And then you can actually use that. But that is what you're going to use to go ahead and put in these brake lines right here. Okay, you could draw them in too, but the brake lines that you see right here on the stairs, those are actually where you would actually use these brake lines that I'm talking about here. So you could use the brake lines. You could use this one, or you could go ahead and put the other one in. Doesn't really matter to me. This is done right here. That is right. That is used with a leader right there. A leader right there is what you have there where it says down. Okay, so we have that. So to put that dimension in there, what you would do is you would go back over to here, and this is what's called a leader. So what I would do is I would use my text, and I'd go here, and this is where my leader is. So I'll click on leader, and I'll go ahead and click on one point, and come on. This is really slow today. Okay, looks like it's doing this today. All right. All right, this one is doing that right there. Specify. Okay, that one's acting up right there. Okay, that's fine. We could actually use this one because there's actually several different leaders right here, but you can click there, and then you can go ahead and type in up like that. And then that gives you your leader right there. So I don't mind if it's curly, that's fine too. You can go ahead and go like this, or up and then down. All right, that's how you go ahead and put those in there. And that is how those would go. And then furthermore, I've actually got the up and the down. You could use those. And I've also got, I think, yeah, I've got a couple other ones right here. And if you don't want the actual curved lines, like right here, it says sliding door, that's acceptable. But if you did want to straighten them out, I'll show you how you do that. You'd go to here, you click on this, you'd right click, and you go to properties. And you change it from spline right here, from leader being spline, you could go over here and make it straight. When you make it straight, it gives you that appearance. So that's how you could remedy that if you wanted to make it exactly like the actual project that I handed out to you is. I'll accept it with the spline. But if you want to make it exactly perfect, I know some of you guys do want to do that, you can go ahead and do it that way. Okay, so now that we've got that, we've got a pretty good idea here. I think that covers just about all of it. Let's see here. So you've got that. This is a sliding door right here. I'm not too worried about the sliding door. The sliding door actually right here, if I go ahead and hover it over here right now, it's 3 feet long. It's 3 feet by an inch. That's how long that slab is, just a little slab door that fits inside the wall. So that's a 3 foot by 1 inch item right there. And then right here, for instance, I've got this. If I did not give you an actual distance or an opening, you can actually just, usually 4 inches off the inside door is acceptable, is what you want to do right here. So for this, I didn't actually give you a dimension. So 4 inches off of the wall will work out quite well. And that's how you can actually place these doors. So if I didn't give you an exact dimension for the door, these interior doors right here, you just want to center it in the opening or give yourself 4 inches off a corner. That'll work fine. I'm not going to grade. I'm not going to take points off for that. As long as they're there, as long as they're in place, I'm going to leave that alone for you guys. Now, other than that, there's some text items right here. You got family room. I'll go ahead and place that in here. So what I would do is I just go up here to my text, and I go ahead and type in here and do this and type in family room, and like that. And that is how we go ahead and place that text. Okay, so at that point, I think that's pretty much everything that you'll need to get this done. I've done a lot of it for you. It's not that difficult, and that's going to get us to there right now. So that is how we work on floor plan 2. It's more complicated than the last one, but it's actually going to be kind of fun because it's going to serve as a foundation for doing other things, okay? So this is going to be the next thing we're going to work on. So right now, we're at 6:51. We're going to take a little break, just take a little 5-minute break to, stretch your legs. We'll come back and we'll continue on. So just take a little break and we'll come right back here. I'm going to go ahead and just mute my microphone. I'll be back in 5 minutes. So don't leave. And what happens typically, I'm wise to you guys. I know what happens is I know you leave and you're not really listening. And then what happens is I come back and you're like, and you, if I'm away from here, you'll say, oh, wait, did class end? No, I'm telling you, I'm taking 5 minutes. We're going to step away. I'll be back in 5. So anyway, that's what's going on right now. And I don't say it's a pejorative. I just kind of know how things go. I was a student once too, you know. Okay, so there we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go here and I'm going to mute this. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes.
Good.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to do the next one right now, and we went ahead and completed the first floor, and now we're going to go ahead and do the the floor plan. So it's floor plan 2 Southfield. Now the next one we're going to do right now is going to be the next, which is going to be the front elevation. Now the front elevation looks like this right here. Front elevation looks like this, and this is what you're going to draw. Now this one actually is in a lot of ways, it's a lot easier. It's a lot simpler, okay? And so what I have going on here, let me see if I can't, I've actually got this somewhere. One second, I just got to grab one other thing. I will be right back. Okay, got it right here. So what I'm going to work with right now is going to be, let's see here. The next thing, which is going to be the front elevation. And the front elevation plan that I have here, let me go ahead and pull this out. Got it right here. And let me make sure you guys are clear on it. Yeah. Okay. Front elevation. And again, I recommend you print these up here for yourself, just so that it's a little bit easier to work with. And what we're going to do right now is this one, like I said, is easier than the other one. And this one's going to be due next week as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you guys how to do this one now. Now, first of all, as I do with everything, you can download the actual project from Blackboard. Okay, so you go over here. Can you guys see Blackboard right now?
Yep.
Okay, so you go to front elevation right here, and you would go here and you would download it right here. Front elevation Southfield. This is where you download it. When you download it, it's this right here. It's going to give you this kind of a thing right here, and this is where you go ahead and take it, and this is how you'd be able to go ahead and to begin to draw it. Now notice that there's a front elevation. There's also a basement, right down here. So there's also a basement down here that actually is a dashed line. Whenever you see a dashed line in a CAD drawing, it means that it's hidden information. In this case, hidden by the earth. Okay, it's actually going to be underground. So therefore it's hidden. So this is how we'd actually have this right here. So this is actually how we'd have this. And we're going to go ahead and begin to draw this. So let me go ahead and show you how you do this. So as you begin to draw this, let me point out a couple things here. First of all, you're going to notice that you got a dimension right here, 42 feet 6 right there. And then down here you have a dimension of 42 feet. So you got 42 feet here, and 42 feet 6 means you got a 3-inch overhang for the roof on either side. So you've got that. Then you have this projection coming out right here, and you got a 5-inch offset gable, and you got some other things right here. Now, in addition to that, one of the other things that I have going on with this right here is I have that, and that's the front elevation. That's the download. Let's see here. There should be, I actually have 2 sheets for that one. There should be 2 sheets. Yeah, the front elevation. Okay, so that's the front elevation right here. And here's the front elevation details. This is the other one. Okay, so I have a second one right here. You want to print this one up too. And this one actually gives you the different hatch patterns. It tells you what hatch patterns you should use. Also the size of the windows and so forth. So you want to print up both these sheets, okay? Now these dimensions, all that you see right here, these are for you so you can construct these objects. They do not have to appear on the plan, okay? So again, these dimensions do not have to appear on the plan. The only dimensions that need to appear on the plan are the other ones that we took a look at before, okay? So going back to here, they would be again, these right here. Okay, so You notice that right here, we do not have all those dimensions right here. Those are just simply there for you to draw. Okay, so now that we have that, how do we do this? Well, what we do is we go to here, and there is a template. So go to the front elevation. I would download the front elevation template. So I download that. So I download the template, and then what I do is I go to AutoCAD. And what I would do is going back to AutoCAD here. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
All right, great. I'm going to go here. I'm going to close out of this. I'm going to close out of this one. And I'm going to go over here to my front elevation. I guess I don't want to do that. Okay, I'm going to go right here. So this is what I'm going to draw right here. So to start it, you're going to notice I've got a big thick line around the perimeter here, around the main part of it. That is commonly done. And I can actually turn that line on and off here, that thickness right here, by using this. This is actually what I would call, this is your line weights right here. Line weights right here. It's this tool right here. I can turn it on, turn it off. So if I leave that on right there, it shows me what that's going to look like. So what I'm going to do is going to start a new drawing. So I'll go back up to start. I'll go to new, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to use my template. So I go out to here, I go to my downloads. So Thomas Brennan downloads, or wherever you have it on yours. And I'm going to use front elevation. So I'm going to go to here. I got my front elevation, and I'm going to start right here with my profile. Now the profile, as I mentioned before, is something that I want to draw that's going to give me kind of a stout version of this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use these dimensions. Let's take a look at this first of all. So you're going to notice that it's 42 feet down here at the bottom, 42 feet, and it's 42 feet here from here to here. So 42 feet from here to here, and then it's 17 feet up to the roof, then over 3 inches, and then up 8 feet, and then over 42 feet 6, and then back around. So that's exactly what I'm going to do right here. So I'm going to start at the bottom. So I'll go ahead and use a polyline. Why not? Go ahead and click here. I'm going to go 42 feet. So 42 feet, boom, like that. And then up 17 feet 2. Yep, 17 feet 2, 17 feet 2, like that. Then over 3 inches, and then up 8 feet. And then over 42 feet 6, as we discussed, 42 feet 6. And then down 8 feet, and then over 3 inches, just as we discussed. So over 3, okay, 3, and then down, and we go down to there, and we close it, okay? So once I've got that right there, I can turn this off so it makes it look like that. So that is what I've got in place right there. So once I've got that, I could actually draw a line all the way across from here just to kind of orient myself. So I've got that, and that's the basic structure right there. I got the basic structure in place right there. Okay, now that I have that, I can turn on, again, I can turn this on or off. And by the way, if that line is too thick, I can right click on here and go to my line weight settings and kind of back it off a little bit so it's not quite so stout, and go there. Okay, so we got that, and I can go ahead and do this. So I went too far, didn't I? So I go ahead and go back to here and turn it up just a little bit so it shows up. And we'll go ahead and go there. Okay, there we go. That's good. Okay, so now I've got that right there. Now, after that, the next thing I've got to do that is actually really important here is I want to draw the gable portion. Now, this can be a little tricky. So if you go this way, though, it's really a piece of cake. You're going to notice here that the distance is 21 feet, 8 3/4 inches. 21 feet, 8 3/4 inches up to the peak. All right, that's up to the peak, okay? So right here, this overall distance right here is 14 feet. I'm just going to give you that dimension. So it's 7 feet plus 3'6" plus 3'6", it's 14 feet. So that means 7 feet is the center, is how far it is off this side right here. Then I'd go straight up 21 feet, 8 3/4. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to start my line command. I'm going to touch it here. I'm going to go over. I'm going to go ahead and say 7 feet. I'm going to say 21 feet, 8 3/4. 21 feet, 8.75, like that. Boom, and it gives me that right there. Now at that point, that is something I should probably, that doesn't need to be the profile anymore. That one I'm just going to go ahead and make a, I'm going to go ahead and just make my, yeah, I guess that's going to be the, which one would that be? Let me go take a look. What layer? Okay, this is actually on. Okay, that's all here. Okay, that's on the hatching. Okay, looks like that is there. Okay, so what would that be? That would be the, I guess it's the roof. Okay, so, okay, then we'll keep on building. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take this and I'll put it on the roof layer and we'll deal with it later. So I'll go to here, put it on the roof layer like that. Okay, so I've got that right there. Now, the next thing I want to do is now that I've drawn that right there, I then need to go ahead and do a couple other things right now. Now that I've done the 21 feet and 3/4, I've got that right there. So that's in place right there. And then what I'd want to do is I'd want to go ahead and do a couple other things here. So I'll go ahead and draw that. Now, one of the things I want to point out right here is this dimension is 15 feet 8. The 15'8" dimension right here actually gives me the actual gable, the length of the gable out here in the front. So it's 15 feet 8 from tip to tip. So that means it's going to go out from that center point that I picked, 15 feet 8 in each side. So 15 foot 8 divided by each side would be 7 feet 6 plus 7 feet 10. I think is what that'd be. Yeah, 7 feet 10. I think that would be about right. So 7 feet 10, I think 7 feet 6. Yeah, 7 feet 10 would be right. That's right. So what I do is I'd go ahead and I'd draw that at 7 feet 10. So, okay, that's how far that would be over that side. So I'd go ahead and I'd go ahead and do that. Use my roof. I'd go over from here, 7 foot 10, 7 foot 10, like that. And that's how far that goes over. And then this goes up 5 inches. Goes up 5 inches. Now, once I go up 5 inches, I can go ahead and take this and bring it up to there. All right, and that's how I get that peak right there. I'll do the same thing over here. I'm going to go over on this side, 7 foot 10, 7 foot 10, like that. And then it goes up 5 inches. Okay, remember it's got a 5-inch gable right there. So that's what I've got right there. That is it. Now let me measure it and make sure that I got it correct. Okay, so I'm going to go here to my dimensions, make sure that's correct. Go from here and over to here, make sure I've got this. Go from here to here, make sure it's right. And that's 15 feet 8, which is exactly what it should be. As long as I'm putting dimensions on here, I might as well go ahead and get these as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this and knock this, and that should be 42 feet. And the roof should be 42 feet 6. Perfect. And then over here, this should be 8 feet. Perfect. And this should be 17 feet 2. Just make sure I got it all correct. All right, there we go, 17 feet 2, there we go. So I've got all those correct right there. So this is how I'd go ahead and put this roof together, that peak right there. Now that can be a little bit tricky, but from what I've just shown you, it's not that bad. Again, take a look at this right here. You got the 15 foot 8 that goes across from side to side. So that's what we have going on there. Now, as long as I've got that happening right here, I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to go ahead and trace out around this with my profile right here. So I get that thickened line around the edge here because I want that to be included. So from here, 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 and then across like that. Okay, so I've got that. And then this one right here, I could trim it. Okay, trim this right there like that. Okay, that's actually what that should look like. So that gets us to that point there. And then let's see here. And then also, looks like that's all we need right there. Okay, so that's all we need. Okay, so that is what we have there. And then I would go from my line down here, and I'd go from here over, what would I go over? Let's see, how far would I go over there? That would go over 15 feet, 8 inches, 7 foot 6, 7 foot 10. So I go over 10 inches. That's a 10-inch overhang. Okay, so I go over 10 inches. So I go line over here, and I go over 10 inches. I think that's right. All right, and then down. Pretty sure that's right. And then that should be about correct right there. So then that's what that should look like. Okay, that should be good. Then the other dimension, that should be 14 feet if I got that correct. Let me just go ahead and throw a dimension on there. Make sure that it is where it should be. And if that's 14 feet, we can proceed. If not, I gotta fix it. All right, get this out of the way. All right, like this. And that is 14 feet, so we are good to go. All right, so now at this point, I've got this. Now at this point, though, I will show you something that I want to work with right here, and that is this right here. I got this line right here, and what I want to do is I want to draw from this line right down here, okay? So to do that, there's a little trick I'm going to show you, okay? So I'm going to first of all change my layer back to roof, okay? I'm going to start my line command. I'm going to start right from here, and then as I go along here, I want it to be perfectly parallel to this. So I'm going to use what's called the parallel command. So to do this, I right-click my mouse, And I got what's called object snap overrides. Okay, object snap overrides. By right clicking, you'll see I've got these choices here. I go to O snap overrides, I'm gonna use parallel. Now with parallel, I'm gonna touch it here. Now notice that when I do that, see the parallel object snap that just showed up? It just has a couple lines together. I pull it down. Now look at that, isn't that pretty? So let's go ahead and pull it up, and I go ahead and can draw a perfectly parallel line like that. I'll do the same thing over here, starting at this point right here, starting at that point and going here, and then I'm going to do the same thing, right click, O snap overrides, and use parallel again. I'm going to touch it right here, pull it down like there, and there we have it. Pull it straight up. Come on, you, I had it. Yeah. Like that. Now, once I've got that, I'm just going to trim out this stuff that I don't need. Like this and this. Like that. Okay, and when I've done that, that is what I would need to do to get my roof in place right there. Okay. Now at that point, I'm going to leave this line in place because it might be useful to have it. But for right now, that's the basics right there. That is how we go ahead and put this together. Now that I've done that, then the other things that need to be placed are actually pretty straightforward. I've got these right here. I've got these different windows and so forth. And as I'd seen before, the windows, based upon the different image that I took a look at, basically showed me this right here. Let me go ahead. Let's see your desktop. Okay. Maybe I don't have those right there. Let me go back to here. Okay, so I'll go back to here. And oh, someone's in the waiting room. Okay. Hi, Nate. Good to have you here. And we're going to continue doing this right now. And so these windows right here, just to show you what they look like, I'm back over to here. These windows are actually right here. They're 3 feet wide by 4 foot 2 inches, okay? And they're 2 foot 10 inches off the bottom, and it's a 2-inch dimension right here between these two. So those are just rectangles. So I'll show you how we go ahead and put these together, okay? So remember, they're 3 feet by 4 foot 2, okay? And then they have a 2-inch offset, so I'm gonna do that. So first I'm gonna save this. So save as, I'm gonna call this one to my desktop, and I'm gonna go ahead and call this one front elevation, Southfield. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so now that I've got that in place right there, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and draw one of these windows just to get it in place. So I'll go here, and there's a few ways you can do this. I'm just going to go ahead and do this with a rectangle. So I'm going to use a rectangle command. Now, when you start the rectangle command, you click here. I'm going to go ahead and type in the dimensions, which are going to be 3 feet, 4.4 foot 2. 3 feet, 4 foot 2, like that. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're then going to offset that 2 inches. So offset that 2 inches. So we'll go to here, and we'll go here to there like that. So I got those together right there. And then this one has to be 5 feet away from the edge. So I'm just going to go. I'm going to go ahead and draw a line just to make it real easy. And I'm going to say 5 feet from the edge here just to make it easy. I'm going to go up 2 foot 10. 2 foot 10 because that's how far it is. Okay, that's where that should be. So I'm going to go ahead and go to move this right here. I'm going to grab it from the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and take it and plant it right there. Boom, done. Then I go ahead and get rid of this line and the other line that's right on top of there. Okay, so that one's in place right now. And then the other ones are 9 feet apart from each other. So over here, you'll see the 9 feet apart, so I can copy that over 9 feet. So I'll go ahead and do that. So back over to here, I'd go ahead and copy that 9 feet. So go ahead and copy it. Both of these. All right, we'll go here and we'll go over 9 feet. 9 feet, boom, like that. All right, so we got that in place right there. So those are there. And then I have these that are above, and they need to be 11 foot 8 from the bottom. So I'll go ahead and go here. And I'm going to go here and click there. And 11 foot 8. 11 foot 8. Just to mark it, once again, I'm going to go to copy. And so I'm showing you right here some quick methods to go ahead and get these to show up where they're supposed to. Go to here and then to here. Boom, there they are. And so at that point, we've got these in place, and that's how we go ahead and place those. Okay, now as we have these in place, we're looking pretty good. And then over here, I can actually start to do the same thing. I can put these in over here, and I've got these, and these are actually 3 foot 6 from the side. So I'm going to go ahead and make a line. I'm going to go here and go over here and go over 3 foot 6, 3 foot 6, boom, and then up 2 foot 10. 2'10" like that. And I'm going to go ahead and copy this over here. I grab from the bottom and I go ahead and plant it right here. All right, there we go. And I'm going to copy this over like this. Go over, and that's going to be 7 feet across. So 7 feet, boom, like that. Then I'd copy these over. So I'd copy these up like from here to here, and like that. And then go ahead and go like this, and go here. And then if I'm not sure, I can just go ahead and touch this at the bottom to give me an orientation point. And there we have it right there. And boom, we drop it. And those are perfectly situated right there. Okay, now that I've got that in place right there, I'm going to trim this out and get rid of this. All right, get rid of that too. Okay, now at this point we're looking pretty good here, and it's got some good bones here. And so at this point I just have one more window over here that's also 9 feet apart. So I'll copy that over as well, and we'll go over 9 feet. Now the door is not going to be terribly difficult. You guys could do the door pretty easily, I think, but we go ahead and you guys have that in place right there. And what you would do is the door would be placed right here based upon the dimensions that you have right there. You've got a 2 foot by 7 foot window right there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So go to 2'6". I'm going to go over here and go to line. We'll go do a polyline. We'll go over here, and the distance is 2'6". 2'6". Okay, and we're going to go up. Okay, and we're going to go from there. We're going to go over 1 foot. And then we're going to go up 7 feet. Okay, and then over 2 feet. All right, and then down. All right, so we have that. And then we go over there to finish it like that. And you're going to offset that 2 inches, just because that's what we do. Like that. And then we go ahead and put in the door, which is 3 foot. And then you're going to put the last thing you're going to do is you put this in, but this is actually a 3 foot by 7 foot door. So you go here and go over 3 foot, and then down to here, and over here, and up to there. We got that. And we got those right there. And then what you would do is you'd go ahead and you'd begin to build that out right there with the other detail that you see over here. So I'll just to show you this right here. I'm not going to draw that in. You guys can figure this out. Okay, you guys can do that. I'm not even giving you dimensions. That's just for you guys to kind of figure it out for yourselves. So you go ahead and do that. Make sure it's centered.
Why is the door opening so small?
What's that now?
Why is the door opening so small?
This is a window on the right.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's a side window. It's a side light. That's why it's on a different layer. Good question, though. Good catch. Good catch. Okay, so you got that right there. Now let me show you something here, because the next thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you guys how you would go about drawing, how you go about hatching this. Now, hatch is something that allows you to put in an angle. I think we showed you guys this briefly, but going back over to this right here, the hatch that you see right here, let me go over to here, a size 2, okay. Over here, as you take a look at this right now, the siding, the hatch pattern is right here. You see right here that it says the siding, the pattern is ANSI 31, the angle is 135, the scale is 48. That's for your siding, okay? So that's the siding for your hatch patterns, okay? ANSI 31, angle 135, scale 48. Now let me show you what I mean by that. If I go back over to this one, which I already have worked on, and if I go ahead and click on this, and I go ahead and open this up, you'll see right here that the pattern right here, the pattern is ANSI 31. That's the pattern right there. The scale is 48. The angle is 135. So that's how you put that in. So it's really quite simple to put in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this by going here and changing this to my, I want hatching. Okay, so hatching, and then I'm going to start the hatch command, which is right here. I can use hatch gradient or boundary. I can use the hatch command, which is right here. And this is where you can put in patterns. So go to here. The default pattern is ANSI 31. So now I want to just change the angle to be 135, like we talked about. And the actual scale is 48. So when I do that, I can actually bring it into here, and notice that it's going to try to find something. I go ahead and click inside there. Boom. It actually gives me that right there. And that is my, that's how I go ahead and place in that particular pattern. Now up here, I've actually got a different pattern, and the different pattern up here is actually my roofing. And so my roofing, I'm going to use my my roofing right here, which is roof. And I'm going to use the hatching that is given to, that I actually have on the plan here. So the hatching for this one is ARB88. So I can look down here, ARB88, which is right here, and that's shingles. And that one's going to be an angle of 0, and it's going to be a scale of 1. So go down here and change this, and give that a scale of 1. I can go ahead and put this right in here. So watch that. Boom. Looks pretty nice there, huh? So this starts to really kind of come together pretty quickly, okay, as far as that goes. Now, the other elements out here that you actually have out here, I think I'm going to let you guys just kind of figure out how to do them, okay? Like this one right here, I've got this right here where you've got a radius of 1 foot 6 inches. So that means you could draw the circle and then just go ahead and bisect it and begin to draw these mullions at 1 inch, okay? Which you have right there. So I'm going to let you guys go ahead and figure that out. And this too, all this dimension, all this information right here, this shows you how to draw the chimney, okay, you have right here. And then this is the mullions from the window that we had there. So this is all information that you would want to have right here. I'll just do a little bit more, and then I think I'm going to pretty much bring this to an end right here. So I've got this right now, and the last thing I would do is I'd go over here and I'd use my, my profile, and I'd go ahead and I'd make my chimney. Now my chimney over here is going to be 2 feet by 26 feet 7. Let me just show you how that is. So I've got over here, it's over here, it's 2 feet wide, and then it goes up 26 feet 7 up to the top there, okay? And then that's how we go ahead, and it actually goes behind the roof, okay? That's normal. So I'll go ahead and start with my, I'll go ahead and make a polyline here. So I'll go over here, 2 feet, 2 feet, and then 26 feet 7, 26 foot 7, boom, which clears the house. All right, and then I'll go over 2 feet again. And then I just go and bring it down like that. And that's your chimney. Now the chimney also has a hatch pattern, which I'll go ahead and give you this right here. The hatching is actually supposed to be ARB, and all this, I gave you this information on the detail sheet. So I'm gonna go here, and I'm going to go here and make this hatch. And this one's going to be ARBSTD for brick standard, ARBRSTD, like that. And then you've got angle 0, and the other is 1. So go ahead and go down here, and I click inside there. Boom, there's your brick right there. Looking pretty nice. Okay, so this is how we put this together. And then up here, I was going to say that I don't really tell you what the distance is located here. This window, you just want to make sure it's centered. You want to make sure it's centered and that it's set up here in the peak in this gable. I don't really give you dimension, just you can use, as long as it's centered, that's going to be fine. And then the rest of this should be pretty straightforward. Now, don't forget down here, you've got this information underneath. And this information is going to be your foundation plan information. So going with that right here, the first thing you want to do is you'd want to change your layer to something that would be appropriate. In this particular case, it would be basement. So I'll use basement. And so when I use basement, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to use 8 foot 8 is the dimension that I have going down. So I go here and you'll see it's 8 foot 8 going from here straight down. So it goes down 8 feet 8, and then it actually goes out to give us the other information here. So I'll go down 8 feet 8. So I'll start with that. So I'll go to line, and I'll go here, and I'll go ahead. Let's see here. Question. Sorry about the okay. Okay. So I'm going to go here. I'll use my polyline. What the heck? And I'll go here, and I'm going to go down 8 foot 8. 8 foot 8. Boom. Okay. Now at that point, I've got this line down there. Okay, I've got it down that far. That gives me that particular dimension right there. 8 foot 8. Okay. And then what I would do is I would go all the way over to the other side, which would be my 42 foot dimension, 42 feet, and then I'll go ahead and complete the rest later. For right now, I'll go ahead and pull this up like that. So that gives me that much right there. Now, other than that, I need to offset this 10 inches on each side. So I'll go ahead and offset that 10 inches right here. And this is how we go ahead and do this. So 10 inches here. Go ahead and take this and offset this here like that, and offset this as well. Very good. The next thing I would do is I would go ahead and draw this one down right from here. Using my line command, go ahead and go right down here. And you go right down like that. I'm going to offset that 12. All right, so we're going to offset this one to the right, 12. So I got that right there. So this is how we go ahead and begin to put this together. Okay, now once I have that, I would go ahead and I'd want to give myself a 4-inch cap. Okay, a 4-inch cap of concrete right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I'll go to my polyline and go up from here and then up 4. And then go all the way across, and that would give me that 4-inch cap right there. That's the cement cap right there. And then the last thing I would do is I would go ahead and give myself an 8-inch, bottom foundation. So I'll go ahead and go from here and going from here and over to the side. I would go over, since the total dimension is 42 feet 8, that means you go over 4, and then down 8, and then 42 feet 8. 42 foot 8, boom, and that's how we do that. And then up 8, and then over 4, and that's how we go ahead and put that together. And then you put the dimensions in. Okay, so those are the different elements that you want right there, and that is how we put that together. The very last thing would be the text, and so I'd go here and I would use the layer. I'll go ahead and use text, and I'll put in this dimension right here. I'll go to here, I'll go to text. And I'll go ahead and go here. I click on one point, then I'm going to go down here. Now right here, it tells me the text height rate is 1/4 inch. That's going to be too small. So as far as putting that together, I'm going to go ahead and drop this in here. I'm going to right click and say, how about we change the height to something like, let's go ahead and use 18 for 18 inches. And then we'll go ahead and go down like this. And then we'll go ahead and type in front elevation southfield. Like that. And once you have that, boom, that's what it should look like. So that is how we go ahead and put this one together. And the others, I've given you enough information to put it all together. Don't forget, there's the details. So you want to print those up. So you want to go out here and you want to go to, can you guys see Blackboard right now?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay,
Yep.
Very good. So under front elevation, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want download these 2 sections. Front elevation southfield, front elevation southfield details. You want to print those up, and you're going to submit those. So those are due for next week. The front, the floor plan 2 southfield, that's due, and the front elevation southfield, that's due. So I showed you everything you need right here, and I will make this available to you. So that is going to be it for right now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to park it right here. I'm going to go out to here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop the recording.